Hi, everybody. Welcome to the AITA pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined by two very special guests. The boys are here. Brendan Fitzgibbons, you know him, you love him.
The boys are back in town.
And a new podcast guy, but actually been my friend for a while. There was a point where I didn't like him, but he won me back over. Tony Bartoloni.
What's not to like?
That is so real.
I'm going to confront you. I'm going to confront you right now.
Why? This guy's so likable.
Let's talk about
Well,
it.
what you did, it wasn't what you did. It was what you didn't do. And whatever. I'm going to just do this. We went on the road. And you just didn't even acknowledge my set. And I was like, God, could I have just gotten like a little something, like a good set, or like I like this joke?
Was that
It kind of hurt my feelings. I was like, this motherfucker can't even throw me nothing for that.
That's crazy. I thought you had a really good set.
Do you expect everybody to comment on your set afterwards? Everybody in the audience?
When I just spent 3 hours, no, 5. Where was that? 5 hours in the car with someone, and I complimented their set. Like, I would just expect it to be reciprocated a little bit.
So you're doing things for other people in expectation of getting
That
something
kind of
back.
blows my mind too.
Okay, I'll hear you. I don't like it.
No, I'm
but I'll
asking.
hear
I'm
you.
asking. That's what you're thinking.
Am I?
No,
That's
I
the
should have. I agree with you. I should have.
I don't
really
agree
thought-
with you, Danny.
I felt like, yeah.
You just- you're
there was
just
a whole, yeah.
I don't.
That was a whole situation.
That's fair. It was a whole situation,
But,
and I think that's a solid defense.
But I did. I did. I thought you had a great set. I was actually, there was like a moment during your set where I was like, fuck, man, Danny's really fucking nailing this. So yeah, genuinely.
Thank you. I
Sorry,
appreciate that.
sorry I didn't comment at the time. I didn't. Yeah, that's fucking sorry.
It's thank you for apologizing.
Yeah.
And you are forgiven. And I did let it go completely. I guess for me, I'm happy you're saying this, Brandon. Am I expecting this? For me, it's like, if you invite me, do you do anything besides comedy that's artistic that you would invite me to?
Yeah, of course.
Like what?
Act.
Great. So you invite me to your play, let's say. I would feel like it's part of the etiquette, which you seem to align with me on, Tony, to say, hey man, I love the part where you had the parakeet on your finger. A good specific, like, your acting was great, man. I really thought it was so funny.
You thought the parakeet was better than me?
No, Brendan, I'm not saying that, buddy. I'm saying your acting around the parakeet was so fun, right?
Okay.
Like a specific.
I just want to see this play.
It sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
But
it's,
like,
parakeet
it's
play.
3 hours long.
So I guess to me, it's like I brought, these boys on the road. And so I didn't think it was that much to ask, just a little bit of consideration.
Okay.
What do you think?
No.
You know what?
Flat out no.
If you bring me on the road to open for you,
No.
you don't expect me to compliment your set or say anything about your set?
No. I've had the full gamut of people do all kinds of shit with my sets afterwards. Road or no road. Road dog. So I don't really, why? Oh, because you invited him? That's why?
I invited him. I commented on his set. I guess I just feel like it's part of the etiquette. I don't even really need a compliment. Just honestly, like a specific, I thought it was an interesting premise.
I also have some notes from that set.
I want the notes too.
No, I don't.
I want the notes too. No, it's not like a requirement.
Where is this etiquette book?
I think it's an unspoken etiquette that's just kind of obvious when you go see someone's performance or you're kind of involved with their performance.
But I guess my concern too would be like, people all the time say great job sometimes and they don't even mean it. So like, what does it matter?
But I feel like that's kind of speaking to what I'm talking about, which is that it's part of the etiquette. Yeah, great job isn't a very specific thing to say, but you know what? It does fit the bill. That's
What's your favorite thing that anyone's ever said to you after a set? Do you guys have anything?
It was so great to see you. You were hilarious. I mean, hilarious is hard to beat.
You know what's interesting is doing the Fringe. People write reviews on the site.
Oh, wow.
And those are so much more, because usually it's like they take a day and kind of think about it, and those are so much more. I don't know, like people say some really cool thing. Like, people have told me things that are like, that's exactly what I wanted to. I'm on the right. Kind of affirming what I was trying to do. And I don't know if it's coming across.
Right.
And then people are like,
So this is much more positive. It's not like YouTube where everyone just calls you gay.
No. Usually it's mostly positive. Someone I know, who I will not mention their name, got someone like really trashed their little short play that they did, and like it was like I was like, fuck, they're really kind of coming after. It was, and to me it was funny. Like if I would have got that, I think it would have still hurt, but it was also kind of funny. The things they said were just like,
It hurts.
yeah. And they mentioned that they were in the audience laughing at, they were like, I realized the person laughing real loud was the person who wrote it.
Oh, that's too much.
It was kind of fucked
So,
a little bit.
So Brennan, you're telling me I bring you on the road.
Yes.
You're opening for me. I should not expect you to make any comment about my set.
The whole point of a compliment is it should come from a sincere place, an unattached place. And also, if you're doing art for the outcome, I think you're fucked already. If that should be the last thing that you're thinking
It's a good
about
philosophy.
when you perform. Is someone
Not when
going
no, sir. Not when I perform. I wasn't like on stage like, oh, I hope Tony likes.
But you're using mental space to think about something that has absolutely nothing to do with the entire reason why you're doing it in the first place. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, to me, it was a little bit of a red flag.
really?
I'm happy that I could air it out to Tony here, but
This makes me question you as a person, if I'm being honest.
that's fair. You're allowed to question me. I invite such questioning. I guess to me it seemed like a basic etiquette, but I think there's a lot of things to defend Tony with, which is that it was a complicated night for reasons we're not going to get into. But
You guys do meth?
yeah, actually,
what's
it's really
interesting
weird that
too?
you said that because my whole set was about meth.
Really?
Yeah, because
A lot of people talked about meth there.
we were in Modesto.
Modesto, and
and
they
That's what it
literally-
sounds like. I was going to say, this feels like a meth show.
They were screaming anytime we referenced meth,
Meth.
so I made
Well,
all my jokes about meth.
They said Methesto.
Yeah.
Oh,
They-
I think
they
I've done a
said-
show
they
there, dude.
told us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you do
Or done.
Methesto?
Probably.
They love it.
Was it at a brewery?
Yeah.
Dude, yes. I've done
Yeah.
that room with Alexis Prigo. That's hilarious.
Nice.
And I remember
Did you compliment their set?
I'm sure.
You're sure?
No, I'm sure that the meth thing came up. No, afterwards I told Alexis that her set sucked.
I hate her raid.
No, she did great.
No, I'm actually happy you're pushing back on this one. Sometimes I feel like you antagonize me needlessly, but I think you're right. And I think I'm learning that maybe I am a little needy. Maybe that was a little bit needy of a thing. And maybe Tony is just hard to get a compliment from.
But also you see that he thought you did great.
I did. I actually, yeah. And I should have, I feel like it's fair.
You feel like it's fair?
Yeah. Like I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It seems understandable. I feel bad. I feel a little bad.
No, you're feel bad. We settled it.
No, I know, but like
I just wanted to talk about this the whole podcast.
I think we're going to move on. You, Tony, have a fascinating life. Sordid, some might say.
Sure.
You lived in a factory.
Yeah. Yeah. It basically a shack. I could call it a tiny house, but people get the wrong
It was
impression.
an uninsulated
Not
building.
insulated. There's no plumbing or anything like that. So I use the facilities.
Really?
Yeah. So I use the facilities at the factory, which could be complicated sometimes. Like it was there were people who worked there. It was employees came in between like 6 and 4 or 5 o'clock. And so like, I would try to shower outside of those hours. I would
had a shower at the factory.
there was a shower. Yeah.
What kind of factory is this?
It was like a machine shop. Like they made
It was the Blue Ball. It was the Blue Ball factory. Are you familiar with the Blue Ball factory?
No, but that sounds great.
You guys know the Blue Ball factory?
It was a ball factory. Oh, it was a band.
No, never mind.
Oh.
It's like an internet thing that ship sailed. Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
They did make balls there though. The main plant though made the balls, and this was like the side, like they would do more specialty work there. So they did a lot of inspection equipment, a lot of like CMM inspection, coordinate measuring machines.
Are you worried that you got poisoned by the fumes?
I am. My friend, because
You're giving me poisoned by the fume vibes
I feel like
right
exactly one listener who's the wife of someone who works on these machines, and they're like, "Oh my god, I literally know everything he's talking about." Literally, one girl in Nashville,
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of factories in the area. It was close to Vernon. It was Huntington Park, but Vernon is like all industrial.
Let's talk about how you lived. Nobody knows LA. You lived in this. You told
But
me that
it was all factories in the area, and so there was a lot of pollution.
Yeah.
And I saw a friend who I hadn't seen in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And we had dinner together, and she was like, "Have you been like chain smoking?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Your voice is like way deeper." And I assume that's from the pollution, the air pollution.
Is that what happens at Clint Eastwood? Just
So I did
much
get sexier
pollution?
though as a result. I have a sexy deep voice now.
it was your current voice.
Yeah.
Oh, it was permanent. Wow.
I think, yeah. I mean,
So, but you told me it
don't
was like
come
a
back from
trauma.
that.
I was interested in that.
Oh, there was definitely a lot of trauma
Because you were so cold, or like what was
the cold, the heat and the cold was bad for sure. It would get really hot. Like it'd be like an oven during the day. So I couldn't, after like 9 a.m. I had to get out of there. Like I had to get out. Sometimes I'd wake up like sweating and like, just like anxious, like just like, cause it was so hot. I was like, I'm dying. Like it felt like, and I still, yeah. So yeah, like if it's really hot, it kind of triggers me a little bit, being in like really hot spaces. And so,
How are you doing in this podcast studio?
it's not that bad.
Well, you got ice water. It evokes, when you say triggers, it evokes the memory for you. Does it bring
It's
you
kind
back?
of like a little bit of a panic, like
a disproportionate reaction.
Yeah.
But do you picture the factory? Does it take you there mentally otherwise, or no? It's just a disproportionate.
No, it's
Okay.
it's more like a emotional reaction. It's not like a full, I don't know, hallucination.
Do you think it's renting for $1,700 a month now?
No, I know where it is. They had to move it. What happened in the factory is they actually got sued by the city.
Wow.
And they said that it was zoned as a vacant lot where the tiny house was, so they had to move it. They had to clear the whole lot.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know where it's going now because they moved it to the other location. It's closing now, so
Yeah.
it might be it might be torn apart. I don't know.
All right, Brennan, take us into this episode. You have a story for us, a funny story.
Sure. I'd like to share with you guys that my dog shit on me on an airplane. This is a story that I'm
excited.
willing to open up to people
can't
now. And
pick-
share.
Quite a headline.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a
I wanna-
great
I want
headline.
to take you guys in that way. So
Okay.
remember like 2 years ago when all the airlines were cracking down because of emotional support dogs, people just started bringing like emotional support squirrels.
God, did they crack down?
They cracked down.
I feel like it's gotten
Someone
worse.
brought like a peacock.
I remember that headline.
Yeah.
In New Jersey.
They're like, no, this peacock helps me calm.
Can I just say
This pigeon.
up front, and I don't know if this is a controversial opinion. I don't like pets inside places. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of bringing.
This is coming from the guy who lived in a factory.
Right. Yeah. I don't like when I'm on the bus and someone brings a dog.
I wanted to bring my dog here, but I didn't. It's a good thing I didn't.
You can. People do bring their dogs. We're at my co-working space,
Yeah.
guys. People do bring their dogs. I mean, I think, Tony, I'm with you in that. Well, first of all, people are allergic.
I have allergies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And when you're in a tight, like a bus is such a tight
bus is
space.
tight. Yeah.
And it's like
it's tough because you can't
dog
leave the dogs
smells
at home, and they're dogs, and everybody likes dogs besides you freak. Anyway, Brendan, go on.
Well, I've flown with my dog a bunch. And it was successful. And kind of to your point, I had one time I did a cross country flight and he slept on the guy's feet next to me. And I was like, if I'm this guy, I'm kind of pissed. Like I didn't buy a ticket being like, this comes with dog on my feet. But he was really cool about it. And my dog was like farting. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Like I have to keep being like, that's him.
It was so obvious.
Oh yeah. I had to be like, that was him. And you know what? When you have to volunteer that information, it makes it sound like it was definitely you.
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose situation. You have to go out of the way to be like, no, it was him. Trust me. So this was about like the fourth time I flew with him in this era when like everyone had their animals. So he has the vest on. We're in Seattle. Okay, so I'm in Chicago and I'm like flying out to LA to be like, this is going to be my time to see if I can live here. This is the beginning of 2020. End of 2020. So it's in the middle of COVID. So everyone has masks on. Comes into play nicely later. And So my dog was like kind of nervous, and he had an upset stomach that morning, and we had a layover in Seattle, and I was like, okay, he's fine. I gave him some food there. That was a huge mistake. I gave him a bit of my fish sandwich.
Oh.
Yeah, double bad. And so I get on this plane. It's Alaskan Airlines. As soon as the doors close, my dog starts shaking. And he doesn't do that unless like something is wrong. No. And I was like, oh no. And he starts like climbing on me. And you're not supposed to do that on there. Like he's not supposed to come on the seat.
He's supposed to lay on your feet?
And the feet. So he starts climbing. And I'm like, okay, so there's no one sitting directly next to me, but there's someone in the aisle. Okay. And so I'm just like, fuck, what do I do? Because I'm like, I don't know. I do not know what to do. Like I knew he had to go to the bathroom, like bad. So I'm like just getting more and more anxious. I was like, this is a 2.5 hour flight. I'm like trying to text people from the plane being like, what should I do? Because I'm like, he's just shaking. So I geniusly decide, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to do this because this is my only option. I pick up my dog. He's 63 pounds.
Oh my God, bro.
I carry him into the airplane bathroom, which you guys know how small those are. I'm holding him.
What kind of dog is this?
Husky Lab Pit. He's adorable. I'm holding him above the toilet going, just go, man. Just go. Like he'll know what a toilet is. I'm like, just go. I'm yelling this because I'm so stressed out. Surprisingly, he doesn't actually go because he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Because why would he? He's a dog. He doesn't understand toilets, right?
God.
So bring him back to the seat. We're probably like an hour and a half into the flight. There's an hour to go. So I literally am like, all right, I lay out my clothes on the floor and I'm like, just go, dude. I'm like telling him he can go. As soon as the drink cart lady comes over, she's like, hi, do you want a drink? As soon as she says that, splatter shits everywhere.
Oh, God.
All over my clothes, on me. The Alaskan Airlines lady goes, as soon as, excuse me, sir. Oh, my God. She freaks out.
No.
Freaks. The guy next to me, unfazed, doesn't even notice, like sleeping totally fine.
Wow.
And it's shit, dude. It's everywhere. But this speaks to how good the air filtration systems are on planes. So this guy is just sleeping, but this woman in front of me goes, oh my God. Oh my God. Can I move? Oh. And I could not already feel so shame, so bad. Bad, right? I'm not seeing a shame through a line in my life. So I'm okay. So feeling really bad. I'm like, can I have like a napkin? Everyone on Alaska Airlines is fucking pissed at me. They could not have been worse. Like everybody that came over, they're like throwing paper towels at me. They're like, ugh. And I was like, okay, I'm like cleaning it up. It's all over. It's like all over me. This is like my best clothes. He just shut in because it's like what I had. And so this goes on. We finally land. I put like all the shitty clothes in a bag and like tie it up. And there's just shit on me, shit on like the bag. As soon as I get off Alaskan Airlines, like a 25-year-old with an iPad was like, excuse me, sir, could you come here? I have to talk to you about the incident. And I was like, he's like, okay, we just want to make sure that like you weren't responsible. I was like, bro, do you think I told my dog to splatter shit on me in the middle of the airlines? Long story short, guys, I'm only going to be flying Alaskan Airlines for the rest of my life. But no, so
wait. Oh, what?
No,
what?
I'm kidding.
Oh.
So we leave. So I like basically they do an investigation to see if like I did this and like because they had to do special cleaning. They had to like bring
it's like a terrorist attack.
Wow. Yeah. It was a shit 9/11.
Like, are you a terrorist?
It was a shitty 9/11. And so I walk off the plane, and as soon as I walk off the plane, my dog shits again in LAX. All over the floor.
Oh, whatever.
And I'm just like, yeah, they've
relatively that's
they've seen that. But I was literally like, am I not supposed to come to LA? Like this is my fucking entry point.
Oh, this is your trip from New York to LA when you moved?
Dude. No, This was my like, I'm going out here to check it out. I think I'm gonna move. And this is my first welcome to LA.
Wow.
And he's just still like shitting everywhere. I'm freaking out. And I didn't get in trouble though. So that's good. So I was not responsible for his
hilarious story. How awkward, bro. I mean, Tony, your point kind of you kind of scored a lot of points there.
It's like see what I mean?
No, yeah, this is like Tony's points for sure.
All right, guys. Well, we got a great little app for you, actually. I'm excited about this. Our second story of the day, AITA for telling my wife I hate her fridge scaping. Not heard of this. But first, Tony, you're Italian. Tony Bartoloni. So we're going to do some Italy stuff. Guys, please rate, review, subscribe to us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. Over 200 bonus episodes, every single episode ad-free. Here we go. AITA for asking my friend to please shut up about Italy. My friend, I'll call her Maria, and I are both Americans. She's half Italian American, like most people in our community, including me, whatever, right? But she has an insufferable obsession with Italy. I can't deal with it. I can't remember a single conversation over 10 minutes with her in the past month in which her Italianness wasn't mentioned. Compliment her cooking skills. It's because I'm Italian. Compliment her makeup. Oh, it's Italian makeup. You make any aspect of her personality or body, anything. Oh, it's because I'm Italian. I can't deal with it. Maria believes that Italians aren't white and we're slaves.
What? Curveball.
We were having a class discussion and she genuinely acted upset because the topic of slavery came up and she was talking about her ancestors. She says her family came here in 1870. Even if Italians were slaves, they weren't. They would have arrived 5 years after abolition. She considers herself a person of color. Oh, God. Same class, different date. We were discussing stereotypes. Obviously, she brought up Italian stereotypes. Me and my other friend did a stereotypical nonsense sentence to Italian. And then they put the little hand like, hey, like pinching a little something in front of you. She looked at us with a fake face of disgust and said, don't ever try to speak Italian again, whiteys. The things that gets me is the language. I'm a linguistic nerd. And what this girl does to the Italian language, oh my God. She says she speaks Italian. The thing is, though, she doesn't. She only ever speaks Italian over text or sends us sound bites. And she makes very rookie Google Translate mistakes like mixing up fall, autumn, autunno, and fall as in dropping. Cadere. She also insists that Italian has the TH sound. It doesn't. Italian. What? Only the Tuscan language has it on the peninsula, and she insists she speaks Italian, says her family's from Palermo or Rome, depending on the situation. What the fuck? Heisenberg's Italians over here? She also corrected someone's pronunciation of gnocchi, saying it was pronounced gnocchi. If you don't know, in Italian and French, GN makes the NYA sound like NYA, and CC usually means a CH sound in Italian. I also asked her why she never rolled her R. She said it was because she was too tired. What? I can't be bothered. Where did this boil over? Well, we were having a discussion. We were talking about our general heritage, and I mentioned that my great-grandfather was born in Naples. She went off on me, claiming I was lying as I was white. I will give her that it did seem like it was a jokey fashion, but I just couldn't deal with this and said, can you shut up about Italy? You aren't even a real Italian. She fully raged with me. She later claimed I was culturally appropriating her heritage and I was racist. Should I have explained in a nicer way, or should I have just ignored this behavior until it passed over at AITA?
As an Italian, are you offended?
Am I offended?
Gnocchi.
She sounds like the most annoying person on the face of the earth.
It's nothing to do with Italy. It's just her.
Sure, she's annoying. That's obnoxious.
I think like when people get beyond facts about it, it's like, like where's your family from? Is it Palermo or Rome? It feels like she's always kind of like repositioning to like lord her Italy-ness over everyone.
I just like that she's using the word appropriate. It's like, yo, Italian culture is such a fabric of our country. Everyone's appropriating it. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Pizza.
Yeah. Stop appropriating the pizza. She's not doing a Super Mario Brothers accent. It's fine.
There are things I am annoyed with about how people view Italians and how people.
Okay,
I've talked a little bit about in my act about how people do the accent at me because my name is Tony Bartoloni.
Tony Bartoloni.
And they do a terrible.
Tony Bartoloni.
That's like the gangster. They do the New York gangster accent, or they do like a terrible like Tony Bartoloni. They do a
Tony
voice.
Bartoloni.
What's the right way to say your name?
Tony Bartoloni. You could just say it normal. You don't need to say it in an Italian way.
Also, let's note that he is in fact wearing a pizza shirt.
The best way to pronounce it is Tony Bartoloni. Pronounce it shack dweller.
Shack dweller. It's Italian for lives in a shack. Yeah.
I love. Yeah. So people constantly do it to you. So that annoys you.
It's a little. Well, also, I just don't think anyone's aware of how badly they do Italian accents, and it's just a little like, just have some self-awareness. Like if they were to do it and then say like, I know it's so silly or something like that's forgivable.
It's just your name's fun to say.
It's fun to say. Yeah. It's like,
are you really annoyed about
Dr.
it?
Seuss? I don't get it. People actually apologize after seeing that bit. And
It's
I'm
a
like,
great bit.
I don't care really. I
like
don't,
it.
but there, I understand how someone would be annoyed about certain. I do feel like in culturally, I do feel like it's more Latin culturally, and definitely like my aunts and uncles are a little. I feel like they have like, you know, they were raised by immigrants, and so they're like a little weird. They're not like fully acclimated to American culture.
Sure.
So like I relate a lot to like immigrant stories, like when I hear people who are like Asian talk about like their parents' behaviors and certain things. I'm like, I very much relate to that because I have that kind of ancestry or that kind of, you know, my.
So have you been not white this whole time? And I didn't know.
I mean, it is weird. Also, like we did a little the cooking thing, like white people cooking.
Oh yeah.
So like my white side of the family, my non-Italian, the Irish English side, they were always good cooks.
But do these people look white?
I mean, but the Italians, they look Italian.
Well, because here's the thing: do I look white? You know, I think I look white. I think
You look like you work at Circuit City, bro.
Thanks. Yeah, I got my Circuit City hat on. You know, I think I'm a white Hispanic. I think I'm obviously not like Irish or whatever. I'm not like translucent.
Yeah.
But it's white passing. I do know a couple of Italians who are not white passing.
They look very
It's definitely-
Italian.
They look what?
They look super Italian.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, my aunts
I'm not
and
comfortable.
uncles look
Yeah.
pretty Italian.
Well, I don't know that. Well, you keep using the word Italian. It's like a circular definition. There's white Cubans, there's black Cubans, there's Asian Cubans. It's an ethnicity. So there are darker Italians who are not white passing.
Right.
That's it.
For
Right.
sure.
I don't think that this individual falls into that category. OP is describing her as white.
She's white passing.
She's white passing. It's like, yeah, lady, you're white. You're Italian. You're white. You're white passing. Give me a break. I think I will say this. I think it's a dicey thing whenever people are trying to like spin their own victimhood.
Yeah.
And the whole slave thing is obviously very touchy in this country. That's obviously associated with a specific race, with black people. And so she's kind of co-opting that. But like, I wouldn't personally feel like a white person should necessarily step in and be like, oh, that's bullshit. Like, I don't know if there's shades of truth.
I've never heard of Italians claiming slavery.
It does seem a little insane.
I would say poverty, but not slavery.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like,
You guys claim gluten. Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess because that's my biggest charge on her is the slavery thing. I'm like, yeah, well, that's like definitely like not your thing to co-opt. But I'm like, it can get very emotional for people if they're apparently hell-bent on telling this sort of story. And I guess, I mean, look, there was a time, fair to say, where people were racist toward them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Not that long ago. In this country.
You know, so I guess I'm trying to create a little wiggle room for her, but like a lot of what she's doing, I think is just fucking annoying. Like you said.
Yeah, the way she is a white woman is that she's annoying as shit. That's her whitest quality.
Is she a Italian Karen? Is that what's going on?
I kind of feel like she is. Falling into polka dots writes NTA, while it's true Italians weren't always considered white, the fact that she considers herself a person of a color is ridiculous. She ought to go to Italy and let them tell her just how Italian she isn't. I don't imagine they give a flying fuck about someone whose relative came over in 1870. She's an American, and that's what they'll say. I mean, I guess I just feel like this person is like gratingly forcing their thing, and then to finally get called out and be like, shut up. It just doesn't really feel that unreasonable to me.
Yeah.
It's
and I think
rude.
it's another case of like a long-term problem that built up. It's just hard to call out, at some point.
I'm trying to think of like something. It'd be like,
What is their relationship? Are they
I think
friends?
it's just a friend.
Yeah, get rid of that. We just don't hang out with that person. I don't know. That would be my.
I mean, I think it would be like if if it was someone I liked in a certain context, like let's say it was one of you guys, and then whenever we weren't doing comedy, you're just like going on and on about like comic books. Nobody else is really interested in that, and it's just like you won't stop really getting into the minutia. No, I guess I do feel like it'd be fucked up to just be like, can you shut up?
I feel like, I don't. I'm trying to think.
I was always offended if someone else said they were a superhero. I'm like, no, I'm a superhero as a person of a superhero background. That's what she's doing with Italians.
You lost me.
It's a specific
It's the same
thing.
If I was always talking about some shit, would you guys just tell me to shut up?
I probably wouldn't, just because I don't generally tell people to shut up. But I probably would. I would distance myself. Maybe. Just
Like
quietly distance myself.
Like if you
kind of like you did with.
Busted.
If
you invited me to your show, I would show up exactly 1 minute before the start time and then leave right after.
But no, she's annoying. You can't argue that she's not obnoxious.
OP is also Italian herself, which I think is a big point for her.
I would be annoyed as someone who's also half Italian.
I feel like the most adult, mature way would be to say, hey, I find it, I'm feeling a little bit like, what do you even say? I'm feeling a little bit annoyed at how much you bring up Italy. What do you say?
Yeah, can we just not talk about Italy?
It's kind of like, it almost feels like almost like a form of narcissism that like,
I'm with it, dude. Even the whole thing about like we were slaves is kind of like this thing of like we were the victims. I'm the victim. It's like, well, you're kind of biting off more than you can chew there historically, sweetheart.
It's like the Irish people would be like, we were slaves, and it's like, yeah, but you're not now.
Right.
No, now we drink.
Now you now you have privilege.
Do the right thing is not about an Italian victim. I don't know.
The cops aren't shooting Italians.
I guess, yeah, I'm feeling like it's hard to step in on someone, especially when they're like kind of singing this tune, but I kind of feel like a shut up was deserved. She's really like hitting it constantly. She's changing reality around it. Like it's fucking annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta come with the facts at least,
But
I
also,
would say like
to Tony's point though, what does it mean if a friend just keeps hanging out with her? By like the 20th time, are you surprised that she's going to bring up Italy?
Right. Yeah. At some point,
right? You're kind of saying that behavior is acceptable.
You're participating in your own torture. Like you don't have to be there.
If they
were cousins, then maybe it's like it's family, it's different. But if they're just friends,
I was recently at a spiritual event, like with this talk, and afterwards, this woman tried to talk to us for 5 minutes straight and never stopped talking ever. She never stopped. And she would have, if we were still there, she would still be talking.
What a wonderful trait.
Yeah. If we were still there, she would still be talking. But right before she talked, she was just only person afterwards sitting in her chair, meditating alone. And that was my cue immediately to say, don't ever talk to that person. Because anybody who's meditating alone after an event like that was not like a meditation event, but she was like, no, I need time to be centered. I need it. Dude. And then my friends were talking to her and I was like, this isn't going to go well. And sure enough, and I kept walking away to the food because I was like, this is going to go on for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is once someone says that there's slavery, that they were evoked by slavery, it's time to leave.
That is one thing about doing Fringe is getting stuck in these conversations. It's like you're promoting your show and then they're promoting their show at you. But it's like some people just don't know when the other person's bored out of their mind.
Yeah.
Like comics. I hang out with comics a lot, and comics have that. They develop that skill of like you can sense when the audience is bored, and you're like, I gotta fucking do something, But like normal people don't have that sense.
I don't know, Tony. I think you're going a little hard there.
All right. Well, comics.
We work the muscle.
Yeah.
But I think normal people, like there's very clear universal signs.
When people are bored.
Yes. They start, for instance, stop looking at you.
Yeah.
They don't acknowledge what you're saying. Like, I think this is a kind of person, the compulsive talker.
Right.
They're literally not trying to have a conversation. They don't care what you think. They're just there to go and go and go. Nightmare
awesome,
people.
yeah.
That's awesome.
My family.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and marry this girl.
AITA for asking my friend to please shut up about Italy. I'm kind of struggling here. I kind of feel like it's tough. How do you deal with someone who's not showing empathy of like, this is bombing. Like nobody likes this aspect of you. It's not likable. It's contrived. It's like terrible. It's just like this fucking 5-minute monologue lady.
I would just be like, go there, go to Italy, go live in Italy. You know, why are you living here? If you love Italy so much.
I saw a comic bomb horrifically in a way I haven't seen in a long time. And towards the end of her set, she just goes, "Why don't you guys like me?"
Did anybody answer?
And it was even more silent. So maybe the Italy girl should just say, "Why don't you guys like me?"
Why didn't they?
It was not happening, bro.
It was not happening.
It was not happening up there. You've seen it. We've all seen it.
I feel like we've come to this issue a lot on this podcast where it's just like, when do you confront someone? Like, it's just like, how receptive is this person going to be?
I think there needs to be an intervention.
Italy intervention. We're gathered here today.
Joe Pesci shows up.
Yeah.
Listen, break your knees.
I regret it, but we brought you Aaron
I'm
Cheney
fucking stupid
to kick this thing off.
Yeah, that's funny. An Italian intervention.
AITA for asking my friend to please shut up about Italy. What are we saying, guys? I'm kind of ready to. I'm just on their side so
Yeah,
much. I'm kind of ready to say not the asshole, and she is.
She's so
fucking
annoying.
crazy.
It annoyed me.
It's non-historical. She's inventing historical facts, or at least not properly disclaiming. Like, she's all over the place.
I would just say, like, this doesn't sound like a good hang either way.
It is definitely also
on either side.
It's also not. It's also a very white thing to claim, like to try to hold on to that. Like, I'm actually
a victim.
I'm actually ethnic. I'm actually of an ethnicity that's not white. A good point. I'm actually a non-white person. Like, that's a very white.
That's very white.
That's a white thing to do. She has to deal with some shit. She should go to therapy and fucking work out her fucking white guilt or whatever.
The Italian lady?
Yeah. She needs to read some books written by black writers. For sure.
Guys, please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. Over 200 bonus episodes, every single episode ad-free. AITA for telling my wife I hate her fridge scaping. Recently, my wife has taken to fridge scraping. I get fridge scaping. It's a recent trend because I'd never heard about it. She started decorating our fridge and was getting really on my nerves. For example, she put flowers in the fridge, in vases, in front of the food. So you have to move things just to get to the food. She put all of our food in fancy baskets, jars, and similar things. I know it sounds absurd, but if you just search up fridgescaping, you'll see what I mean. I didn't care at first because I don't have to use the fridge much. I don't cook a lot, but she's getting too meticulous with it and adding too much decor. It's made the fridge uninviting. She gets upset when I get something from the fridge and don't put things back perfectly. She takes it as a personal slight and acts like I've done something to deliberately hurt her when I haven't. I just find it unnecessary to maintain such an organized fridge. Before she started this, it would take me 30 seconds to grab something quick from the fridge, whereas now it's a whole ordeal. Last weekend, she confronted me after I grabbed leftovers and left it in quote unquote disarray. According to her, I explained how I find the hobby stupid and she can decorate other things. It doesn't have to be the fridge. It gets in the way when I want to quickly eat, when I come home from work hungry and tired and want to grab a quick bite. It's frustrating. I also talked to my son about it and he finds it annoying, which I told her. She didn't argue back after that. She's removed all decor from the fridge, which I have to admit has been relieving. But she's also been acting very distant toward me and just hasn't been herself and has been weird intimacy-wise.
Oh, here we go. Can I just go back to him saying he doesn't use the fridge much? Is this guy just eating a bunch of dry food?
He's like a dog.
How is he not using the fridge much? What is he eating?
Crackers.
Oh, God. This man's mouth is so dry.
Guy's so dry.
I've had this
Crackers
fight.
and lukewarm water.
You've had this fight.
Yeah.
You're familiar with
decorate?
There was no fridge scaping.
Okay.
But basically, I was really like
meticulous.
My girlfriend got really mad because I bought 4 dozen eggs and 2 pounds of asparagus, which is like a fair amount of fridge real estate. And she was like, the fridge looks terrible. And I was like, close it. Like, why are you looking?
Where you?
It's not really
concerned?
for looking. It's like a functional appliance.
It's not a decorative. I was gonna say. My point would be that a fridge is functional. It's to keep shit cold.
Right.
You could decorate the outside. The outside is for you
Right.
could put magnets. You could fucking do whatever you want with the outside. Make the outside look nice.
Yeah.
To fucking tape a flower on the outside. Buy some flower magnets. But the inside is for food. That's to keep food cold. That's function.
I think this is
Function over fashion.
classic debate. You guys live with a girl? You live with a woman? As
No,
straight
but
boys? You haven't?
No, but I've had I was basically kind of living with a girl. We'd spend like 4 days a week together, but not like live.
I mean, I feel like this is a very normal, like,
Yeah.
I've never heard of fridgescaping, but for me, it's like this is kind of an argument. I think I've been charged with having a quote unquote boy room, which bothered me. But
Yeah, you journal.
I know. I wrote it down. I was like, it's not a boy room. There's a certain aesthetic. But like, yeah, it's like I think men, we tend to lean a little bit more, especially straight boys. We kind of just have like our shit and it just works and that's it. It's not really beautiful. I think stereotypically women are more into an aesthetic and a stylish interior.
Yeah, we should go a little deeper here though, because I think there's some underlying issues going on.
I
think the intimacy thing was a big eyebrow
Well,
raise
this was
for me.
mean. He was being mean.
Yeah, but I feel like that's my question to you guys. How much do you think that he was mad because they're not having good sex? So he's just taking it out on the fridgescaping.
No,
everything
think-
in a relationship
no,
is really
bro.
about something else.
Which I have to admit has been relieving, but she's also been acting very distant toward me and just hasn't been herself and has been weird intimacy wise. I see how you're saying, did that happen before the
Yes.
fridgescape? It's possible,
That's
but
what I'm
I
saying.
think this is enough. I think the issue here is how did this guy like communicate this? It was very like rigid.
Yeah.
Like, and I think fridgescaping, it's a bit absurd to me. But I agree with Tony. I am in the Tony camp where it's like, yeah, it's a fridge, it's a functional item. But in the end, that's kind of the spectrum that you're going to engage in no matter where you are, For me, for instance, a bathroom, what is that called? Like where the sink's in?
Oh, okay.
That table, to me, that's a functional table. It doesn't need to be super decorated. It doesn't need to always look good. It doesn't matter. It's just there to do various tasks.
How big is your bathroom? That's sick. You got a table.
It sounds like
Congrats,
It's
a
not.
bathroom.
It's
This guy
tiny.
lived in a
It's
factory.
literally just a sink.
He lived in a fucking factory, dude.
But I think my issue with OP is he did not do anything to make her feel heard. Look, if fridgescaping has become something valuable to her, you want to just be able to like meet her in the middle, or like I just feel like he was very much like, fuck you, it's stupid. Like that was his energy. And I think that's harsh.
Mm-hmm. I will. There is the line. I will say I don't like a super disorganized fridge. Like
that
it
impairs
is.
the
That's also
functionality.
frustrating.
Yeah.
But this is not. She's going a little beyond.
Well, I agree.
Flowers inside a fridge.
A vase
just-
in a fridge.
That's wild. That is a wild
There's
thing.
a bunny.
That's,
There's the
that's
bunny.
The bunny, he's
that
the
is
fridge
insane.
bunny.
He's the fridge.
He's the fridge bunny. Babe, isn't he going to freeze it? He's an Arctic hare.
His name is Harold.
Put the bunny back in the fridge.
Put the bunny
He
back
the
belongs
in
in
bunny
fridge.
back.
He's eating all the vegetables.
Put the bunny back. I guess
I agree that he's too harsh. That's my take.
it's very harsh. I think you've got to meet in the middle for these things. And by the way, we've been actually talking about this a lot. When you accept someone's behavior, right? When you don't call someone out, you are basically saying, "Hey, that was okay with me." Now, you're not legally, it's not a contract that you're saying that's always going to be okay, but you need to recognize that you've put an idea in that person's head, right? That said that behavior is acceptable. Like if you guys start calling me, Danny DeVito, and I let it fly,
What an obscure
you
name.
become attached.
How long?
People do this all the
How
time.
long
to
does
me.
that go on?
Danny DeVito?
Yeah.
Why?
No.
I don't know. People bring up Danny
That's
DeVito to
fucking
me,
dumb.
especially
Nothing.
women.
You're
Yeah.
nothing like him.
Thank you.
Do you work for Jersey Mike's?
Thank
He's
you.
funny. He's really
Fuck
funny.
off. I hate you. But like,
He had a great set.
He did.
okay, guys,
Danny
no.
DeVito
always
Danny
kills.
DeVito
He
had a
always
great
kills.
I've never seen him bomb in my life.
I guess I feel like the OP was kind of like, yeah, it's the fridgescaping is fine. The fridgescaping is fine. And then she did get more intense about it. And I just feel like he wasn't very, he did not broach this conversation correctly. He called it stupid, not necessary.
Also, that's what I'm telling you. I feel like it's also pent up sexual energy. He's not getting his sweet HJ. So
That's possible,
he
but-
goes full berserk on her.
You think an HJ would
Yeah, that's what
take
gets
care
him.
of it?
For a guy whose wife is fridge scaping, he's getting HJs.
I think that's possible, but I also think that, like, yeah, when you speak to someone in a harsh manner like that and you call their hobby stupid, like, yeah, that's not attractive. So that might be, I'm not reading it like you. You're reading it I'm reading it as that happened after. And I'm like, yeah, bro, like, she complied. You shit on her for fridge scaping. She complied and de-fridge scaped the fridge. But now you like turned her off because you were being shitty.
Yeah, I would say
I agree.
There needs to be another conversation, and an apology isn't
Yes.
outside of. That's not. It wouldn't be crazy to apologize for speaking harshly.
Mandatory for speaking
Yeah.
harshly, especially when you effectively did say, like, fridge scaping is flying. I'm letting it fly. Like,
I don't know about that, because that speaks to, like, you got to be somewhat self-aware. That kind. I almost feel like that's like, you're not. I don't think you're responsible for, like, because it doesn't bother you enough to say something right away. You know what I mean? Like,
that's fair. And she's sort of assuming the position of I control the fridge. And it's like, well, no, the fridge is a mutual shared appliance. That's fair. I just do think calling it stupid for me is the ding.
Yeah.
It was not necessary. It was not appropriate. You're right. She should have gotten permission. This was a change of a mutual space. I think that's fair
He
to
should
say.
retaliate by cabinet scaping her. Just going into her stuff and putting a
We have
bunch
ants
of
now. Yeah. The whole cabinets are an ant farm, babe.
Just put a bunch of shit in her.
It takes a year. I got a queen.
Yeah. Just a bunch of like
there's
football
a
action figures.
beehive in the closet now.
A bunch of football action figures from the
nest.
Dallas Cowboys.
yeah.
She's so pissed.
The Cowboys are on a train, babe.
Sorry, this is our year.
I will say, yeah, there is I'm in a situation right now where I'm getting a new roommate, and she's super type A. And
that's not for you.
She came, well, yeah, no, it's not for that house that I live in. I don't know why people move in there that are type A. It's not, this has happened before. And it's just like we told her we were going to clean everything, so it would be clean when she moves in. She told us she was moving in on the 15th. I was like, great, we're going to clean on the 12th. The thing is, her brother lives there. So her brother, that's why she's moving in, because her brother. Also, she's like kind of hard up right now. She doesn't have a lot of money. That's why she's moving in. So it's kind of like we're doing her a little bit of a favor to, like, you know, fucking, yeah, you can move into our house where we live, you know.
She's asking a lot.
And then so we told her we were going to clean. The day we were going to clean, and my roommate was going to come after work, and we're going to clean out the living room and whatever. She showed up at 10 in the morning and cleaned before we.
Wow.
That's weird.
And I woke up late that day, and all my stuff was in the driveway from the living room.
Oh my God.
So that was a little extreme.
Boundary check.
Yeah.
We got to wrap things up here. We only have this room for 5 more
So a
minutes.
little
folks.
triggering.
But AITA for telling my wife I hate her fridge scaping. I do think she was being a bit presumptuous, and this should have been approached a little bit more thoughtfully on her behalf. However, him coming back with hating it, saying I hate it, saying that it's stupid. I think this was very like, just, you know, he went too far for me, and I don't think this is a way to talk to her. She sounds like she's a sweet gal.
Yeah.
You gotta approach that with some kind of compromise, or
She was probably on so many
empathy.
Pinterest boards. She was so
Yeah.
stoked about this man.
And I bet they have a beautiful
Put
house.
work into it.
AITA for telling my wife I hate her fridge scaping. I do think
little
wife
bit.
could have been more careful, but I'm at YTA. You're the asshole and she isn't. All right, we're going to wrap up on a stupid one that we've done before. It's a classic. I just wanted to hear Tony react to it.
right.
AITA for asking my boyfriend to stop calling me Tony Pizza. I have 21 and my boyfriend M21 currently live together and have been together 4 months. To explain why, we're at the 4-month mark and we started out as roommates, but then started dating. My BF has never been good at pet names. Some early ones were Little Stubster and Sour Meat. One of my nicknames for him in comparison is Little Bird. Anyway, 2 weeks ago, he starts calling me Tony Pizza.
I love that.
This doesn't even make sense, and he uses it more often than my actual name. He's obsessed. It honestly bothers me that he can't even bother to find a somewhat nice nickname for me. I've had a couple of conversations with him about it. but he says he can't just think of anything better. What do I do? Is this going to be a bigger problem or should I even address it? I hate being Tony Pizza.
I feel like there's got to be better origin. Like it didn't just come up from nowhere.
I want to hang out with this boyfriend. This guy sounds awesome.
Little Stubster.
He's
I want
hilarious.
to hang out with my man, little bird.
So your gripe is that it needs to have a good origin story.
I mean, yeah.
That's
What
fair.
did he? How did he? Like it almost seems like because it comes out of nowhere, it's almost like designed to annoy her.
It's
Yeah.
genuinely
Which
never a
kinda-
good idea to call your girl a guy's name. I feel like sometimes I used to call girls that I date dude. And they're like,
Yeah, they don't
call
they
me
never like
dude.
that.
And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. You're right. I shouldn't be calling you dude.
Although dude sometimes can be used as like a expository, like a
Yeah.
dude, like
Dude.
fucking
but
Oh,
not
yeah,
like
I know what you're
directed
saying.
at a
What's
person.
that called? An interrogative or something? What's that word I want?
A
word that-
I'm trying to
like, wow.
yeah.
That's
Expletive.
no.
hey, what would be worse than Tony?
Expletive.
What do you guys think would be worse than
Expletive.
Tony
Expletive.
Pizza?
Expletive.
What's worse than Tony Pizza? Derek Taco?
Derek Taco.
We got to come up with some other. What's
Tony
worse?
Pizza.
Frankie Hamburger?
There we go.
Frankie Burger.
Frankie Berg.
Yeah.
I love Tony Pizza though.
Gary Grilled Cheese. All right.
Gary Grilled Cheese is great.
Yeah, I definitely have a little bit of a sensitivity to it because
Sweet.
that I had someone called me Sandwich. Do you know Joe? Shout out Joe Marisi.
No.
You don't know Joe Marisi?
No,
Oh,
no.
he's really
The
funny.
listeners
comic.
also don't.
He's at the.
He just called you sandwich?
He's a funny because I would call him Blueberries because he had a bit about blueberries, and he would call me Sandwich because he said my name sounds like a sandwich.
That's fair.
I mean, that's pretty. That's kind of nice.
I think,
though.
yeah, I mean, we've done this one a million times. I think, look, it's funny to call people various names. I personally can handle it. You can
The
call
worst
me
name I
whatever you
got
want.
called. Are you guys ready? My name is Brendan Fitzgibbons. When I was 6, Brendan Thanksgivings.
That's funny.
It's really good.
That's
Brendan
cute.
But I was
Thanksgivings.
hurt. My feelings were
Oh,
hurt.
but is it legal
But in
now?
hindsight, I'm like, that was really good.
Can I do it?
Yeah, sure.
I think, yeah, if somebody tells you like, hey, don't call me that, I think that's a fair boundary. You got to respect it.
Yes.
We had Tony Baloney, Tony Barfaloni,
I love
Tony
Tony.
Well,
Barf.
that's her Instagram handle.
Barfa Baloney. Yeah, because I
ran with it.
I reclaimed it.
I reclaimed this as well. Somebody called me Mr. 5'8" in a really mean, hateful comment. So I changed my Instagram handle to have it.
What's your handle right now?
Mr. It's like Danny Bacon, Mr. 5'8".
Take back the day.
Thank you.
I think that is the approach. Like that she should change her Instagram,
Tony Pizza.
but he'll probably love it.
He'll love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think Tony Pizza is better than Little Subster and much better than Sour Meat. It's my favorite.
sour meat.
Sour Meat's brutal.
Rough.
That's like,
I think it's just.
Also,
I get
you want
the
to have
vibe
sex with
that
someone you call sour meat.
I get the vibe that he's doing this.
Sour
to-
Meat feels like someone who solves a problem.
Yeah, dude.
We're calling Sour Meat, bro. Sour Meat will take care of
Sour
this.
meat.
like the wolf in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like a wrestler.
He's like a much worse version of the wolf who's
Sour
like
meat is not,
obese and he has a greasy
Yeah.
shirt, but he will still kill someone.
sour meat is not a good
He's always
nickname for
greasy.
anything. like
Yeah.
there's no scenario
Not
where
the
that's a
person you're
good.
dating.
Sour
Anthony
meat's
for asking
never
my
good.
boyfriend to stop calling me Tony Pizza. I think we agree it's YTA or not the asshole and the boyfriend is. All right.
Yeah.
Brendan Thanksgivings, Tony Barfaloni, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Quick plug. We have less than a minute. Here we go.
Instagram @the_Brendan Fitzgibbons. I have an album coming out. Come listen to it.
I got you just at Tony Barf
Tony
I don't know,
Pizza.
at Tony Barfaloni on Instagram. Just,
There we go.
It's
Find
all
it in
there.
the description. Much love, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Right.